Okay, Mr. Reed here. This is homework 7-1, 7-2. First question says the two rectangles are similar. That means their sides are going to be proportional. Doesn't mean they're the same. They're going to be proportional. So it says which is the correct proportion for the corresponding sides. So that's important that we always make sure we have the corresponding sides because let's just make sure we know what we're doing here. Let's say this is side 1, side 2, side 3, and side 4. That means this is side 1, side 2, side 3, and side 4. So we have to be careful that we make sure the sides, we're talking about the same sides. So we can do this a couple of different ways, but this happens to be multiple choice. So we can look at these multiple choice answers. And this says 12 is to 8. So 12 is to 8. Well, that makes no sense because this is talking about a long side and this other side. So we don't want to consider that. So let's look at this. This says 12 is to 4. So 12 is to 4, right? So the long side of this triangle or rectangle and the short side equals, and this says 24 to 8, the long side and the short side. Well, that one makes sense. So that could be it. Definitely. Let's see this one. This one says 12 is to 4. So again, same thing. 12 is to 4, long side versus short side, as 8 is to 24, which is short side to long side. Well, that doesn't work because we're not comparing the right thing. And here we have 4 is to 12. So short side here, short side to long side of this first rectangle is to, and this says long side to short side. So that can't be it either. That can't be it either. So the important thing, obviously it's choice B, but what I also want you to understand is that if this was not multiple choice, we could have written this, we could have figured out a lot of things that are similar. And as long as we do it consistently, then we're okay. I could have said 4, let me get this color back up. I could have said 4 is to 8. That's the short side of the one to the short side of the other is equal to the long side of one and the long side of the other. Of course, that wasn't one of your choices, but that would be another way to write it. So just make sure that you're talking about corresponding sides. So anyway, in this one, your answer was B. Okay, this one says model is made of a car. The car is 10 feet long, and I'm running out of room over here, so I'm going to write this here. 10 feet. And the model is 8 inches. 8 inches long. And I don't know if you can see this, so let me drag that over. Oop, it didn't work. Hold on. Okay, this just says what is the ratio of the, I don't know if you can see this part, this says of the length of the car to the length of the model. Well, in this one we have feet and inches. So we need to convert the feet into inches. And we know there's 12 inches in a feet, so in a foot. So 10 times 12 is 120 to 8 inches. So if we just simply divide, we can write it more like that. 120 divided by 8 is 15. So it's 15 inches to 1 inch. So our ratio is 15 to 1 because we need to put these in common units. So we had to convert feet to inches. So that's number 2. Okay, this one says the length of a rectangle is 5.5 inches and the width is 4.25 inches. I don't really need to draw this, but the rectangle is whatever it is. It's 5.5 and it's 4.25. But the important part is this says what is the ratio using whole numbers of the length to the width. So the length is 5.5, 5 1/2 to 4 1/4. So we want to make these whole numbers. So we need to make sure we have the same denominator. So I'm going to make these halves. So if I had 5 1/2, that's the same as 5 times 2. That's the same as 11 over 2. So that's 11 over 2 over, and this is 4 times 4, 16, 17 over 4. Right? But we want these to have the same denominator. So if I want 11 halves to have the same denominator, I have to multiply that by 2. So it'll give me 22 over 4 over 17 over 4. So now I've just got a fraction. If you remember, if you have a fraction, let's say 4 divided by 2. Well, we don't need to go into the fractions. But all we're going to do is multiply this 22 over 4 times this reciprocal, which is 4 over 17. We're just inverting and multiplying. So now we can finish this and solve it because these factor out or cancel out, and I'm left with 22 over 17, or 22 to 17. And that's all we have for that one. And we really, we didn't have to put these into common denominators either. I could have just simply get something to write with here, some color. There we go. So we had 11 over 2 divided by 17 over 4. So we could just invert and multiply up here. 4 over 17. So this cancels out and this becomes 2. And I get the same answer. 11 times 2 is 22 over 17, which is 22 to 17.